Hi everyone, I'm back with another reading for you. It's come to my awareness that sometimes the readings that I do tend to be a little bit intense, so I wanted to come to another reading. I don't know that I'll be able to change it, but maybe a little bit. More relatable, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. What does the universe want us to know right now? First card out, we get the Tower. And it's like, well, maybe intense energies call, or intense times call for intense energies, right? So right now, the universe wants us to know that collectively, as a whole, we are going through a Tower moment. We're experiencing a breakdown of sorts, a breakdown of social conditioning, programming, a breakdown of the norm. We have the Justice card. These in tarot are called the Major Arcana. Major Arcana are cards that show that these things that we are experiencing are sort of fated. Even though we have free will and we get to choose how we get to experience these things, these are events that are happening because somehow, collectively as a whole, we've gone off course. From our true life path. So right now, along with the Tower, this is justice. It's regaining balance. It's getting things back to the 0 point. Finding balance between the light and the dark, the seen and the unseen, as above, so below, right? And then we have the Star card, another Major Arcana. This is like, I don't know how to get away from the intensity. So we're going through this crumble phase. And then we are asked to really look at things for what they are, see our reflections, really become aware of our thoughts and our actions, and know, does it feel like they're in balance? Does it feel like they're true? Does it feel like they're honest? Really get to know. I was never a religious person. Okay, I've always believed in God, and I've always had a close connection with Jesus and the Christ consciousness. And I feel like this is what this is, reconnecting into the Christ consciousness, that which is of pure unconditional love. We've become so separated from each other, from ourselves, from source, that it's become very narcissistic in nature in the way humans live at the moment. And that reflects in a lot of things, like the president. So the crumbling, in order to see where we are out of balance, so that we can reclaim our balance and connect back into source. Why do we want to connect back into source? Well, if source created us, if source created everything on this planet, humans, animals, nature, environment, this table, in the likeliness of itself, then connecting back into source really means connecting back into ourselves, right? Why do we want to connect back into ourselves? Connecting back into ourselves and knowing ourselves and what our true desires are gives us the free will to create the life that we want to experience. Not the life that people see it said. This is what you should experience. All that matters is material gain and what you can acquire through doing the things in the way that we say to do them. It's time to awaken our joy, awaken the part of ourselves that has that carries our emotion. If we cut ourselves off from emotion, how do we know what we love and how do we know what we find joyful? You know what I mean? Is happiness as you experience it now true happiness, or is it something that people say what should make you happy? And that's where we get into trouble. Like, someone's life can look so perfect from the outside that if they're feeling pain, and if they're feeling unfulfilled, they become shamed. And people around them say, well, you have so much to be grateful for. Well, yes, you do. However, if it wasn't what you wanted in the first place and you forced yourself to do it because that's what people do, it's not going to feel good. That doesn't make you a bad person. Either way, it doesn't make you a bad person. Like, all it makes you is lost, finding yourself in a life that you really didn't want in the first place. Oh, I think I went. So we went with the joy, right? And then we got the death and rebirth card. Sometimes, in order to find what it is that truly excites us, you might be able to hear my daughter screaming. She is fine. She's with her sisters. But if you find yourself in a state of unfulfillment, the death and rebirth is calling you. Sometimes we have to let what we know completely crumble and fall away in order for us to find ourselves. And that's the scariest part. That's where we get stuck, and that's where we find ourselves not doing that. So with the Tower, we have the Two of Wands. And it's like, now's the time to make a choice. Are we going to fight and hold on to that which wants to crumble away, or are we going to let it go? Are we going to let ourselves find our true selves? Experience that which brings us joy? Or are we going to continue feeling trapped and boxed in? And it's not to say that everything has to crumble away. It could simply be a perspective or a thought or a habit of doing things in a certain way that needs to crumble away. It doesn't mean that you need to forget your whole family or walk away from your family or anything like that. All it means is something in us needs to transform so that we can allow ourselves to see ourselves. Still pretty intense, I know, sorry. All right, so with the Justice card, we have the Seven of Cups and the Two of Swords. And this is like, we have options. We choose not to see them. We remain blindfolded to them. There is a different way of doing things and a different way of seeing things and a different way of feeling and honoring those feelings. And we have the Ace of Wands with that. If we take the blindfold off, there will be a light within us that completely ignites. And it will ignite passion and joy and love in ways that you've probably never experienced before. Then we have the Star card with the Two of Pentacles. Really take a look at the things that you have in your life and say, is this what I really want? Or is this what I was told that I wanted? Connecting back into source makes that a clear answer. It doesn't have to be, well, is it this or is it that? It's when you're truly connected into source. And I rise up because it's like connecting to the source gives you that risen sand hall feeling. It's never a question. Then we have the Devil. Devil. We have the Devil with Temperance. And it's like, you can see that this could very well be the same person. One in the light and one in the shadows. And it's not that the devil it's not that the shadows are bad. The shadows working unconsciously through us can cause us to do things that oppose directly what we feel we want consciously. But bringing them together, working through them together, bringing the shadows into the light, so that they can become conscious of each other and listen to what each other wants. It's like, if you live your life consciously, you know what you want. No. If you look at the conscious mind, it's very clear what it wants. It's very clear that we do things because they're deemed as good, right? But then when things happen that are bad, we don't understand what happens. And that's like when the shadows come out. But in order to know yourself completely and become completely connected to Source is to be connected to both halves of you. The light and the dark, the sun and the moon, you know? Be whole, fully connected within yourself so that the full being that you are is connected into Source. Because truly, you can't really be connected into Source completely unless you're connected into both parts of you. Nine of Cups and Ace of Cups. So all we want, what we completely wish, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but what we wish for, the Nine of Cups. What is it that we wish for? True love. True unconditional love. True connection. True seeing and understanding. We want to be seen and we want to be acknowledged and we want to be heard completely with love and compassion and not be shamed for wanting that. Unfortunately, it starts within. It's gotta be, we've gotta see ourselves, hear ourselves, acknowledge ourselves completely in order for it to manifest externally. So this death and rebirth, transforming the way you see connection. It's completely understandable that we'd be afraid of connection when all we've known in our entire lives is how to connect to somebody by doing something for them or by giving up a part of ourselves for them. It's not fun and it's scary, but that's the only way we know how to have connection. So sometimes if you feel like the only way to connect to people is, I don't know what's happening, but I feel like people are tickling me right now. It's weird. Okay. If you feel like in connection, all that happens is you give up a piece of yourself or you give up yourself completely, that you get lost in the other person, That's completely understandable why you choose to push away from connection. It takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of work to be somebody who you're not. So if you find yourself in that situation, know that you are the only one who can remove yourself from that situation and really feel true connection with people who accept you and love you for exactly who you are. And know that that's possible. Okay, so this is the Secret Language of Light Oracle card. I love it when it does that. I love it when Source is like, this is the card, and it's completely what I... Okay. Inward revolution. And that's like completely allowing everything that is within that no longer serves, allowing that to crumble, completely revolutionizing the way that we think, feel, and live in our bodies right now. We are coming to a point in our lives where everything is about to change. It's currently in the midst of changing. We can no longer live so separated. It's causing people so much pain and so much suffering, and it's suffering in silence that really is very, very scary, because it causes people to be here one moment and not the next. And so it's so important to become reconnected within yourself so that you learn how to have connection with other people. This is the time. Right now is the time for you to reconnect into who you are. Why? So that you can have an authentic relationship. Be authentically who you are with conviction and moral standings. I don't know. I feel like it's in knowing who we are that we find the self-confidence to go out and get what we want. And we have the Hermit card with the King of Swords. People are feeling alone, running away from whatever it is that burdens us. All we wish is to have connection. In order to do that, we have to move towards it. We're coming to the end of the cycle. It's the end of the burdens. It's the end of feeling defensive. And we're waking up to a whole new life. Now you have the free will to choose whether you want to stay where you're at or join the inward revolution. Recreate who you are from the inside out. It's not even recreate, rediscover who you are from the inside out. All right. I think that's all. I have to go make sure my kids are not remodeling my house. My 1 5-year-old. My other kids are 19 and 20. 20 and 14. Wow. So they're watching the 5-year-old. And the 5-year-old is like a wrecking ball. But I'm available for readings. The links will be below. Like and subscribe to my channel. I really want to get my voice and my word out there, and I want people to know that they're not alone and that there is help when it feels like there's none. So thank you for watching. I love you all. Stay safe and healthy. Bye.